Hey guys, and welcome back to Cape Cod Like a Local. Today we're just going to talk about some of the real estate statistics here in Barnstable County, just to give you an update and let you know what's going on in the market. Technically, we're still in a seller's market because of the low inventory. Normal inventory or balanced inventory would be like 5 months, 5.5, 6 months. Right now we're down to 2.1 months. So the inventory is still low. So technically still a seller's market. It's just not behaving like one. And if you open a newspaper or watch the news at all, you know that the interest rates have been really jacked up pretty quickly this year. And so right now we're at a 22-year high. So that is affecting buying power. That's caused a lot of buyers to pump the brakes and sit on the sidelines, or to just be priced right out of the market. Many people just now in the Cape market can't even afford what they were hoping to buy. And like all things, what goes up must come down. It's just a matter of when. So what we're really comparing here is September of this year compared to September of last year. One of the positives, if you're a seller, is that the median home price has gone up. It was $625,000 last year. It's up to $675,000, which is a 7.9% increase. That being said, we're starting to see some other indicators let us know that that's going to change, and we believe it will start going in the opposite direction if it already hasn't. Pending sales in 2021 were 387, and in 2022 they're down to 288, which is 25.6% decrease in pending sales. That again, even though the inventory is almost flat. This year we have 606 homes on the market. Last year it was 608 in September. So even though the inventory has been pretty consistent, the pending sales is way off. So even though home prices are up and the inventory has kind of remained flat, the pending sales are down just over 25%, and the closed sales are down just over 20% from the same time last year. And what that means is right now we haven't seen the trailing indicators there. Fewer people are writing offers, because of the loss in buying power. Some people just can't adjust to that. It's going to take them a while for the new reality to set in. And if this trend continues, we're going to see prices start to dip. So, not the end of the earth. We've all lived through these things before. It's just there's some things you need to do to prepare yourself as a buyer and a seller. So last year, we saw a percentage of list price versus sale price. So when someone listed a home, the original list price, they were very often getting much more. The offers were coming in and running the price over list price. It was averaged about 101% plus a little bit. This year, when someone lists a home, the original list price and then the final offer comes in and that's accepted. It's right now about 97%. These things will show up in the sale prices later on. So pretty much what we're seeing right now is with fewer offers being written, as a seller, and we're seeing daily, we watch the hot sheet, what's happening that day in the market, what's coming on the market, what's changing in the market. And what we're seeing right now is it's very often just as many homes coming back on the market or having price reductions as there are with brand new listings coming. And what that tells us is when they're coming back on is, things aren't so crazy that buyers are desperate and just willing to forego inspections or willing to just assume anything that's wrong with the house and not ask for any help. They're asking for help now. And, it's just the reality. And, if someone's being fair about it, if the home needs a new heating system, as a seller, I would recommend working with them. Doesn't mean you have to pay for the whole thing, but just be prepared to work with people. You all want the same thing. Digging your heels in because someone got a better price last year and didn't have to do anything, that was last year. It's a different market. So please don't get hung up on what happened down the street a year ago, because that'll come back to bite you. And one of the other things is right now, it's very important to get back to the way it used to be before this crazy market took off and prepare your home for sale. Dress it up. do some landscaping, fix the garden beds, a little bit of paint and cleaning up and furnace tune-up, things like that. Those will go a long way to present your home in the best possible light. And also, if your realtor is saying, well, I know you were expecting this because that's what your neighbor got last year. As long as they're showing you comps and numbers that, try to be open to the idea that things have changed. The last thing you want to do is overprice and languish on the market. And then if the market does start to dip, home prices dip more, which we've seen in the past, and that very well could be coming. You don't want to be someone who's chasing the market. And that basically means that when you finally get around to realizing that you missed the mark on pricing and you say, okay, let's take it down 10,000. Well, I watched people play that game, $200,000. I'll come down 10. Well, the market's already come down 10. You need to come down 20. So you don't want to be right behind that, because I've seen people lose a lot of money doing that. So it's just really put your house on the market for what it's worth today, dress it up, make it stand out from the competition, and just be open to some flexibility. And I'm sure you'll get together on an offer that works for both parties. And on the buyer side, many sellers understand that the market's changed and they're willing to work with you. If you're fair about it, if there's something that comes up at inspection that needs addressing, again, like heating system, problem like that, or if the roof is really on its last leg, just try to be flexible and come to an agreement. Too many times we see people dig their heels in and they lose a house they would really love to have, and someone else loses a sale that could have been good for both parties, because people are digging their heels in over very small amounts of money. So be flexible, have your inspection, work with the sellers. Everybody wants the same result at the end of the day, or, they both want, one person wants to buy a house, one person wants to sell a house. So everybody works together on that. I think it'll be okay. Yeah, and the other thing we see is, maybe last year, the end of last year, the beginning of this year, someone, had a market analysis done and they said, oh, you can get X for your house. And now they're finally getting around to listing it. Well, things have changed. Don't try to hold hard and fast to that number, because that, is probably not the reality of today's market. Ask your agent to reassess and do another market analysis, show you on paper what the market believes your home is worth today. And again, do your best to be flexible, to dress it up, and in the buyers, be flexible and just work towards a mutual agreement, and I'm sure everything will work out for both of you. So the bottom line is, again, like I said early on, even though it's technically, because of the lack of inventory, technically a seller's market, it's changing. And we believe those changes are going to start to show up very quickly now. So as a seller, get your home ready for sale, do the best job you can to show it in the best light, and be realistic on your pricing. And I'm sure it'll work out. On the buy side, you're in a much better position. Again, even though it's a seller's market, you are in a good position because a lot of the competition you had has dropped right out of the market for now. So if you're out there and you're qualified and you're ready to write an offer, you're in a good place, much better than we've seen in the last couple of years. So if you have any questions as a seller or a buyer and you're not already working with an agent, I'm happy to take a look at your home and let you know what I think. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.